There is a Chinese proverb, may you live in interesting times, and we certainly do. Today, in the United States of America, there was a large DDoS attack, and it shut down lots of sites, limited service to the sites like Spotify, Twitter, PayPal, Reddit, and a lot more. Well, when I say shut down those sites, that's inaccurate because really it shut down some of the sites that routed you to those sites, which is what a major DNS provider gives you. And here we can look at just that this is an article from Gizmodo today, and it talks about the outage, and it describes what a DNS is and why it matters. So I've been waiting for a while to talk about a browser called Tor. And that's what I'm actually looking at this in right now, is a Tor browser. And I wanted to show you how to install the Tor browser. This happens to be Manjaro 16.08, but it can be in almost any Linux system. First thing we need to do is open up your regular browser. In this case, I'm using Vivaldi. You go to the Tor project's website, and they give you nice instructions on how to download it. And God forbid they make you go into the terminal to do it. Don't despair. It's not the end of the world. Okay? First thing we need to do is download the appropriate architecture from the file above. And the file above, simply we want to choose, we're going to download for Linux, and whether we have a 32-bit or 64-bit. Okay? And what language we want. In this case, I want English. So go back to our Linux instructions. And the first thing we want to do is open up the file folder from where we downloaded it. Fine. Oh God, I got a lot of ISOs, don't I? Anyhow, we go to Tor, and there it is, Tor Browser Linux 6.05 dash or underscore en dash US capitalize. Okay, so there it is. That's my Tor download. So now you can install this program to run off a USB drive, which is the recommended course of action, so that when you want to browse the web anonymously, you would just simply plug in your USB drive and access the program from there. But for simplicity's sake, I'm installing it to my hard drive. And to do that, it's pretty easy. We just come over here, right-click, open up a terminal. Okay, remember our simple terminal commands, in that if I highlight something over here, I can just highlight it and then push down on my mouse wheel over here. And I did not install the 32-bit, I'm running 64-bit. So that obviously is not going to work. So we want to get rid of that command. And here I'm just using the backspace key held down. So let's go to the proper command, highlight it, put it over here. And that's where my cursor is right now at the back. I can use my arrow keys to move forward and back. I could press my home key to take me to the beginning. I can press my end key to take me to the end. But I just want to get to the language. And they don't want me to use language. They want me to type in what I have downloaded. So let's go back, check our download file. It's small case en dash uppercase US. So that's not very hard to do. Small case en. So let's go down here. Just click small case en dash uppercase US. That's it. Then I would just activate that command. Okay. And that's going to unpack the downloaded Tor browser. So let's get out of that command. Now again, I'm just using very simple backspace delete keys to wipe that out. Nothing very sophisticated. And once that's done, we want to change our directory to the Tor browser / language, which would be small case en dash uppercase US. And that just takes me right to the directory where I've installed Tor. And then once I'm there, I'm going to load the program with that command. So let's go ahead and do that. en dash US. Return. That would change my directory to the Tor browser. See it right there. Very easy. And then I would just type this command in, cut and paste, and that would load the program. So let's get out of that. Let's get out of that. Let's get out of Vivaldi. And let's look at Tor. When you initially load Tor, it's a Firefox derivative. And what it does is it tries to keep you anonymous on the web. And for you to use it properly, and I'm not going to go into all the whistles and bells, but you need to change your browsing habits. First thing, you don't want to maximize the screen. You always want to leave it at its original resolution and size, because they can actually fingerprint your desktop off the resolution of your monitor and keep a track of you that way. And the other thing you don't want to do is you don't want to install any add-ons or plugins. You don't want to torrent. Okay. You always want to use HTTPS, and in fact that comes installed here. You can see it, HTTPS everywhere. And you want this lock to always be green to the websites you visit. So otherwise this looks very much like Firefox, because basically it is Firefox. If we look at our information and we go about Tor Browser, you can see I'm running 6.05, but it's based on Firefox 45.4. And here's the program. And if you want to donate or get involved, and they would appreciate any help they can get. Okay. You don't want to open your documents that you download while Tor is online. Okay. And use bridges and or find company. And there's hot links here to tell you and give you definitions better if you have any questions on these basic steps. But you also really want to access another screen and really start to understand some of the whistles and bells of how Tor works to protect your identification over the internet. But by using Tor, you could have accessed Spotify or Twitter, PayPal without problems today in today's brutal DDoS attack, because it wasn't attacking those particular websites, it was attacking the route to those websites. And Tor operates a little bit differently and takes you there a different method. And we can kind of see some of that here. Is when I click on the onion, I can create identities. I can have a new Tor circuit to this site. I can set my privacy, my Tor network settings, and I can check for an update. But you can see what my circuit is for this site, to Gizmodo. This browser to France, to Italy, Canada, internet. Pretty interesting things. So this is just a really super basic introduction to Tor as a browser. There's a lot of ins and outs of using it, and I am by no means an expert, but I think if you just use Tor as your browser, follow those simple instructions I outlined, and also make sure your firewall is set up and enabled, then I think you're going to have a much more enjoyable web browsing time and be safer at it than if you just run a regular browser. Now, I don't use Tor all the time. I'm not doing anything. I'm the most boring person in the world. So, but in today's environment where you have a DDoS attack going on, then I think it does make sense to open it up so you can access those websites that you couldn't normally get to through your regular browser. I hope all this makes sense, didn't confuse you too much. And if you have any comments, please shout them out. Thanks for watching.